news that we had Monday, the U.S. stocks closed Monday on lower Monday, dragged by a sharp sell-off in the semiconductor stocks and a geopolitical oil price surge, right? President Trump announced on the Truth Social that the U.S. is reinstating a naval blockade on Iranian shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, and he added the U.S. would demand a 20% reimbursement fee on all transiting cargoes to cover the defense costs.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what happened Monday, causing the market to have its pullback. You had some semiconductor and memory stocks have their pullback. So tell me how you feel about Monday and what happened with Trump talking about the naval blockade.
Man, it's going down, man. We've been here for months at this point, right? We're having new things come out every other week for real. Major news. What are we doing? When are we coming to a resolution? What's up?
Okay, colors is different.
No cap. When are we coming to a resolution? A blockade? Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's wild.
So it's non-going every week, man. So let's see whether or not this sticks. Whatever happens, the market's moving up today, but that's what happened Monday to move us down.
Yeah.
On top of that, the oil prices, crude oil rallied 9.6%, so almost 10% in that same day, settled at 83.30, and it marks its largest one-day percentage gain since 2020, right? So that's what happened with the oil prices. On top of that, we'll pull up the SpaceX chart real quick.
Yeah. Oh.
SpaceX on Monday ended up hitting a little low, right? We was talking about it. This was a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week, when we was talking about the low of possibly getting to at the $100. It was 35%, right? Let's see whether or not it hits. Right now, we're 15% down, right? So you got 125 that's reaching there as a target, but all in all, SpaceX is now lower than what it IPO'd at, right? Once again, this is still top-notch stock. We ain't bringing SpaceX and talking about it being low to talk down upon it. We just keeping up to it. We keeping up with it, keeping up to date. This is still a quality stock, right? How you feel about SpaceX, man?
Man, when we were talking about it and having it be saying that you would think that it would get to those like lower hundreds, man, I think that it actually is extremely possible. Before I was thinking like, because it's so generational, it's like there's so much money into this that I didn't really see that being that low, but there's so much time until we had that first unlock of the money that's invested into it by the private investors, whatever. And that comes August, right? Or like the end of July?
I don't know when the full unlock happens. They're slowly doing it now. I think the first ones have already happened. I don't know yet.
Shit.
But we got the chart up in the Discord if you want to pull it up. If not, we can just let's see if we got it up in there, if I can find it quick enough.
Just go right there, SpaceX.
Nah, because I don't know what I put it under. I just put a screenshot in there real quick. How I usually do. So it's either this one or it's in stock market news. Damn. Anyways,
that wasn't. No.
I thought I had put the list up there for when the first lockout happens and whatnot. But you can keep talking about it.
But yeah. I think that because there's so much time and there's weeks and there's a lot of things. There's so much that's happening every day, every week within the market, within all of the different spaces and the classes. August 11th. Yeah, so there's still so much time. Today's the 15th. There's still so much time until August 11th. You know what I'm saying? That's
right.
3 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks. So it's like there's so much that can happen. Definitely think that it is possible to get to those $100 levels.
Yeah, at least touch them, tap them real quick.
For sure.
So for the people who do not know, we spoke about it on Wealth Wednesdays. This right here is the chart or the sheet of the dates of when the private shares of the people who were already invested into SpaceX, when they get it unlocked. So you get August 11th. Flash was saying August. He was right. Wave 1 starts August 11th, right? And then you get August 21st, September 10th. So all the way until June 13th, 2027, that's when we see shares being released on SpaceX, the private shares. And the more these release, the more more money gets taken out of the company as far as in the shares and the market cap, and the less the market cap, the more the stock drops a little bit, you know. And we want to be able to hop in when all that BS is gone. Let me grab the charger real quick for us, man.
No cap, because this is gonna free up all the space and all the tension and all the pressure for you to hop in there and be like, I got a good investment. As well as, man, they're dropping back to back. These is all back to back.
So we're gonna see, and then September is August, September historically one of the worst months of the market.
You feel me?
So we could see a bleed on SpaceX, man.
No cap.
We was talking about 100% the way IPOs were. We might, 100, we might see less than that.
No cap. Especially, man, we got this first wave coming at 20% unlock, man. It's gonna be crazy. A lot of people are gonna be in the position to sell. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be have the intent to sell.
You know, Nvidia, like thinking about Nvidia, they didn't have an IPO, but they had that moment when their market cap just hit so big, and all the employees who had so many shares, you know, they took their money, went to go invest in things like Anthropic, OpenAI, all these different things. So, you know, I'm sure we're gonna see SpaceX employees that have been there since 2002. I mean, you know, and from what I've watched, you know, Elon runs his employees to the ground. You know, we working 24/7. This has been his mission, and you know, and if they and they've been right there with the mission, and they deserve to enjoy the fruits of their labor.
Okay.
So that's SpaceX. That's the unlock. If you want to find this, it's the stocks analysis section in the Discord, man.
6/22/26, man.
Yep. On Tuesday, when we move on, we ended up getting the consumer price index report. So the CPI came out, right? So the consumer price index report, they get to tell us as consumers how much things are rising with what we're spending our money on, the goods and services. So in June, let me move back over here. Prices actually fell in June, right? So it's telling us for the month in June. So prices actually fell in June. You got the CPI drop 0.4% for the month, which is unusual. That's the first monthly drop like this since 2020. It pulled the annual inflation rate down to 3.5%, which is way better than the anticipation of 3.8%.
Yeah.
And it went down sharply from May's 4.2%. So we had inflation rise 4.2% in May for the consumer goods, and now it's 3.5%, right? Core inflation, right? So this strips out food and energy, the number and what the Federal Reserve cares about most, right? So core inflation was flat for the month with the annual rate at 2.6%. So everything besides food and energy and gas like that just stayed flat at 2.6%. But this right here is something to take in consideration.
Yes.
The big driver right here, energy, right? Energy is those things, oil, right? Prices there dropped 5.7% in June, in the sharpest monthly decline since April 2020. Gas is still up a lot for the year, 26.7%, but they say it cooled off hard in June specifically. Energy hasn't dropped this much a percentage since April 2020. So, I don't know. You seeing any gas prices dropping out there in the world?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't looked either. I was just seeing if you have, but you guys let us know in the comments. Did the gas get a little cheaper last month? You know, I'll ask around too once we're done. But you know, based off all the news, man, you got any thoughts based off on the news?
Yeah, CPI. So if it was lower than it was expected to be, right? Then that means that the common person like you and I, we got a little bit more money to spend. We might, you know what I'm saying? The groceries, it might have been $400, but now it's $340. You know what I'm saying? So now multiply that by all that. You know what I'm saying? Now people like us are able to invest and get into assets because we didn't have to spend all our money on just living. Now we got a little bit of extra free bucks. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So you let us know if you guys see those changes. You know what I'm saying, going on within your day-to-day. Forgot to do the disclaimer. None of this is financial advice, right? Do your research. This is for research.
This is what we do.
This is what we doing. Research purposes only, informational purposes only, not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do, but hey, if you like what we say and listening to us, go ahead and do your research to make a sound decision as well.
Yes.
And you know, back to what you said, you know, you guys should, you know, we should be seeing a decrease in prices from what happened in June. But it's so crazy because let's see what happens for when the numbers come out next month for the month of July, because this came from us. You know, they had that ceasefire, oil dropped, right? You know, things were looking pretty good when it came down to that, but then now we're in this month and things ain't looking too good no more.
Right.
Trump is going back and forth with these guys. They're putting more tax on them. We just read it. So
Reverse card on it.
let's see what happens for inflation for the month of July, right?